Hey, 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 tucheze sasa.
Karibuni, karibuni, everyone. Thank you for joining my live stream today. And today we are going to talk about something very important. We are going to talk about something different and important. We're not going to listen to a story. No, we're just going to have an overall conversation, or we can say a real conversation with all of you. So we are going to talk about why, why things children love already will help promote a language. And we are talking about specifically Swahili and things like football, singing, drawing, as well as dancing. Now, um, we are going to look at, some few secrets that will help us as parents and educators to know how to navigate through language learning with our children. And you know what? The 10th thing is going to shock you. So stay tuned till we reach the 10th one because I know this one would really help you in language growth and language in language growth of your children. So kids, if you're here in this live stream, before we start, chat type in the chat section what is your favorite activity that is not school. Uh-huh. What is your favorite activity that you like doing with your friends that is not school? And we are going to have few minutes with us that we are going to read and get to know what is that is your favorite. So, parents and kids, stay tuned as we navigate through all these things that we're going to look at today. Now, here is a big idea of what I want us to look at. Um, you know, I want parents to really hear this one. Language is a language lesson teaches you about the language itself. But a co-curricular activity such as game, song, sports give you a reason to actually use the language. Isn't that amazing? That it is that, activity, that game, that song, that sport that is going to give you a reason to use that language. And that is the real secret of how children will actually pick up language very fast. So let's go through these points. And as I said earlier, the 10th point is going to shock you. And the 10th point, that is where we need to hold it so dearly because it is going to help us so much in the language, in the growth of language in our children. I hope you are ready to move swiftly with me as we navigate through this. When we learn, a word while we are doing something, let's look at this, parents. When we are learning a word while we are doing something, our brain actually it holds onto it so much longer than when we are reading it, you know, off a list. Did you know that? That when we are learning, while we are learning a word, while we are doing something, our brain will definitely tend to hold on to it so much longer than when we are just reading it off the list. That is why cooking together teaches language better than flashcards alone. So know that you cannot use only flashcards, but you have to incorporate an activity in it so that it can, our brain can hold it much longer. Okay, let us look at this one example. So we have, you are teaching chemsha, ambayo e, which is, boil, kata, which is cut, koroga, which means stir. Well, actually, making chapati with mom. eh, The hands are doing the action, while the ears are actually hearing the words. So the words are literally going to stick into the children's mind. So let us embrace doing an activity while learning a word, which will make it stick into our brain much longer than just reading them off the list. Kids who are in this live stream, what is that something that you love to cook or bake with your parents? Please type it in the comment section. Let me know what you like doing with your mama or with your papa while you are learning something new. Okay. Today, I'll be reading these comments out loud and, commending all of us. Uh-huh. So, playing removes fear of mistake. Did you know that? That while children are playing and learning this particular language, it is going to remove the fear of mistake. Okay. In a normal lesson, usually kids freeze. They freeze, because they don't want to say something wrong. But in a game, mistakes are just part of playing, aren't they? Uh-huh. You can correct me on the comment section if you think that is not correct. But all I know that when you are playing a game, mistakes are just, part of playing. Nobody's going to feel embarrassed. Uh-huh. You're not going to feel like you have said a certain word wrong. No. It is just part of a play. So playing would always remove mistakes and they're going to be to play freely. Yeah. Let us look at this example. uh We're going to, maybe you are playing this game like, I know we all know this one, Simba Anasema. Simba Anasema, which is our Swahili version, but normally it is, Simon Says. A shy child who won't answer a direct question will happily jump in the moment they hear Ruka Ruka. True, right? Uh-huh. As much as they are shy, they can't speak. As much as they feel like they're going to make a mistake, but here we are playing a game. Simba Nasema, which is, that is the Swahili version, but in the one that we normally know, it is Simon Says. If they hear Simon Says, Ama Simba Anasema, Ruka Ruka. Definitely they're going to jump in and, to start, doing the action that Simba Anasema. Mm-hmm. Right? So we have said that, playing, playing, playing helps, or we can say playing removes the fear of making a mistake. These learners or these kids are not going to fear making a mistake and they're just going to jump right onto it. Okay. Again, movements, they usually anchor the language in the body. Movements anchor the language in the body. Why am I saying this? This is called the total physical response, which you usually use mostly here at Tired Life. When a word is paired with an action, the memory is, stronger than just hearing it while you're just sitting down. So, on a football pitch, you hear Pigang Pira, kick the ball, Kimbia, run, Simama, stop. The verbs that you're learning, they get locked in through the action. Uh-huh. Not translation, but just through the actions. So, kids who are at home, stand up, Simama. When I say Ruka, you jump. And when I say car, you sit. So are you ready for us to do this? Okay. Do 1, 2, 3. Stand up, Simama. Ruka. Javini. Ka or Katie. Did you do that with me? All right. So how do you feel? Do you feel, a little bit energized or not? Uh-huh. Music and rhythm, they actually train pronunciation. So music and rhythm, they train pronunciation. Songs usually, they have, songs repeat sentences. They repeat sentence, they repeat patterns over and over again, but it never feels repetitive because it's fun. That repetition is exactly what builds up fluency. Did you know that? That we have music, rhythm, which are actually training in pronunciation, and we have said that songs usually have, they usually repeat sentences. Or we can say that, the sentence pattern over and over again, but it never feels repetitive because it is actually very fun. That repetition, uh-huh, that repetition is what builds fluency. Uh-huh. Now, for example, we have, you have one call to response song. And maybe it is about days of the week, and they keep on repeating these days of the week over and over again. Do you know that the kids are not going to realize that they are, they are drilling in full sentences structure? They think they are just singing along. Yeah, they'll just think that they're just singing along, but in real sense, it is building them to know full sentences, to actually know these days of the week in Swahili. Isn't that wonderful? So, parents, co-curricular activity actually very, very important. The music part, the football, the playing games, and all other different activity, because they are really important and they are going to help in the growth of your child's fluency in when we are talking about language growth. We also have something else that is this is role play, which gives a language to have a real purpose. Role plays actually play a very big role in language fluency and all that. So when you act out a scene, you can't just recognize the word. No, you have the actual produce. You just have to actually produce them to keep the scene going. Get what I'm saying? That when you are acting out a scene, you can't just recognize the words. No, you have to actually produce them to keep the scene going. Let us look at this. Our duka, our duka la matunda, we can say, uh, you know, our fruit shop. And let's now role play. One child, sells, one buys, and they must genuinely ask, "Bei gani ni bei gani," which is how much, to get a mango. So make sure that you are trying this with your kids. Try to have these role plays. Give them the vocabularies that they are supposed to be using. And let's see whether they are going to make sure that they are capturing the vocabularies and using them and actually producing them so that they can actually keep the scene going, the scene of buying and selling at the shop. Yeah. So we are still waiting on point 10, because I told you point 10 is going to blow your mind, because I know this is something that we didn't know about. So we have the art of craft building vocabulary through not true through what we call labeling. uh We have pairing a picture with a word is one of the strongest memory combination for young children. It can turn, it can turn an abstract word into something really, really personal. Uh-huh. So you have to, pair. You pair pictures with words, which will help in memory combination for younger children, because you say that it can turn these abstract words into something personal to this. Now a kid draw kids draw their own family and label each person as baba, mama, kaka, and dada. Now the vocabularies mean something to them, don't you think so? Because they have drawn, and then they have labeled them. This is baba. Yeah, huyu ni baba, huyu ni mama, na huyu ni kaka, na huyu ni dada. That is something personal to them. And we see now these vocabularies mean, great mean something to them, and it is something that is really, really personal. We also have the team activity building language through negotiation. When kids have to work together to solve something, they are forced to actually communicate, even those who don't like communicating. But now, because they are doing this activity, it will make them to communicate, because this is how they actually solve that particular problem that they have at hand. So that's real, unscripted language use, not something that is rehearsed for answers. uh-huh. For example, we have the treasure hunt, where each clue is, a simple Swahili phrase that, team must read and discuss together to actually find the next spot. Isn't that amazing? That putting them together for a team, for a team activity, where now they are going to build a language through negotiation, which means that they have to work together. They have, now at this particular point, they are forced to actually communicate. And through this communication, this is when they are able to find something. And remember, this is something that is really, unscripted, something that is not even rehearsed. Uh-huh. And they have to say simple Swahili phrases so that they are in a position of um, finding the next clue. This is one of the ways that will help them, keep on communicating. That will make them to, you know, want to. If it is a competition with two teams, they'd want to do better. They'd want to win that prize at the end. So they'll be forced now to know this Swahili, read these Swahili phrases, discuss it amongst themselves, and find the next clue. I know we all know this, the treasure hunts and all that, which will usually help. Kids are very competitive in nature, and they definitely want to win. Uh-huh. So we have something here that we have always been discussing for over and over. We are always talking about this. There is no life that will pass without us talking about this, which is storytelling builds listening. It builds what you call the listening stamina and flow. Builds, um, builds listening stamina as well as flow. We have, beyond single words, kids need to learn how language flows. Beyond them having, or knowing this few words, they actually need to know how language flows, how one idea leads to the next, how they connect, you know. Uh-huh. And storytelling actually teaches that rhythm. Did you know that? Uh-huh. So we also, our weekly storytelling mini circles, where kids retell a story in their own simple Swahili words. We celebrate fluency as well as perfection. So at Tayari.live, at least once a week, we try to have a storytelling session. And in this storytelling session, um, we usually want la- would- we usually want the kids to say these words in simple Swahili. Okay, to say them in simple Swahili. And with this one, we'll get to know, did they even understand the flow of the story? Did they even understand what happened in the story? And if they know the flow, it means that, this storytelling has actually built, that stamina and flow in them. Yeah. We are almost to our 10th point, where I told you that in the 10th point, this is where we are going to, our minds are going to be blown. Uh-huh. Where we're going to see, oh, okay, this is how it was. So stay tuned as we match up, as we continue discussing these points, so that we reach at point 10, where I know we are all going to enjoy and love this. Now, we have this, where are those points? So we have what we call the cross subject clubs, which expand vocabulary beyond what you call a textbook. Did you know that's the cross subject clubs, they're going to expand vocabulary beyond the textbook. Language shouldn't actually only be inside the language class. Did you know that we should not only have them in the language classes? No, kids need words for their whole world, not just a curriculum list. No, it is not just a curriculum list, but they need it for their whole world. Did you know that? So let's look at this example. A nature club naming plants and animals in Swahili, or on what do you call this, matembezi ya mimea, or we could say plant walk. This covers far more vocabularies than a textbook could. Did you know that? Uh-huh. Kids who are watching this live stream with me today, name one animal in Swahili right now in the chat section, and let's see how many different animals we are going to name them as we continue with this live stream. Okay, and drum beats for point 10, because I know this is what we are all waiting for. Point 10 is very, very important to our parents and educators. Did you know that motivation and identity drive voluntary use? Did you know that motivation and identity drives vocabulary, no, no, not vocabulary, voluntary use of this particular language? This is the real psychological win. When a language is tied to something a child already loves, they use it without being told to use. Did you know that? Because I'm so excited about this particular point, because you know, this is, psychologists have looked at it and they have said that this one works, that when a language is tied, when a language is literally tied to something, that a child already loves, they'll actually use it without being told. So if you have not tried that at home, parents and educators, please let us embrace this. Let us see, if we tie it to something that our child loves, what is going to happen? Are they going to speak without have actually been told to? Are they going to speak voluntarily? So let's try that. And when we meet in our next session, we are going to answer this question and say, oh, what you said last week worked for my child. And I think that this is what I'll keep on doing. And let me tell you, that works like magic. Just tie it to what the child already loves doing, or yeah, what the child already loves. And trust me, you are going to enjoy all that. Let us look at this example. A child who actually loves singing will sing in Swahili. Right? they'll just definitely love singing in Swahili on their own. You definitely hear them, uh, them singing one of the uh, popular song in Swahili. And it's not that they are told to, but it is because they love singing. You'll just hear them maybe somewhere and say, power, power, naishiwa power. So, and a child who actually loves football will shout commands in Swahili without actually being prompted. Mm, mm-hmm. Now, look at that, tie them together, and let's see what's going to happen. So, parents who are watching me in this live stream, please comment below, what does your child already love? Could we turn, could we just, or could you turn it into, a language activity and see whether it's going to bear some fruits? Try that and you'll tell me what happens in our next stream when you join for such educative discussion around. Uh-huh. So now, before we continue, can we stand up, everybody? Uh-huh. Can we stand up and stretch a little bit? Oh, Simon says, Simba anasema simama. Simba anasema jameni, simama. Simba anasema stretch a little bit. And Simba anasema keti. So let us move a little with this and see what else we are going to uncover. We have, like, the board games teach game, teach, they teach us what you call, turn taking and instructional, you know and instructional language. Have you ever played board game with your children? So board games are full of tiny repeated phrases. Whose turn is it? What happened or what happens next? And whose phrase become, the second, or becomes, second nature first? Uh-huh. You hear now, we can turn it to the language now. We say if it is your turn, samu yako. Nenda mbele, which is move forward. Uh-huh. I mean, let's just try to, you know, incorporate this language in these games. And I'm telling you that it's going to be great. We also have debates, mijadala. Debates and, discussion, circles. They teach, opinion language. Uh-huh. You know, all the kids, especially need the language for opinion. That is true. Older kid will need the language for, opinion, not just, naming things, no, but saying that they think what they think and actually why they think that way. So you'll find them using something and say, like, a phrase like nadhani, which I think, and kwa maoni yangu, in my own opinion. uh You see, such words will need to come so that they can be in a position of having these discussions all around. Uh-huh. Yeah. So I want us also to look at one last things, and we have, photography as well as journaling. Uh-huh. And photography and journaling, they actually build what you call, descriptive vocabulary. Did you know that photography, journaling will build up what you call the descriptive vocabulary? When we have to describe what you see, uh-huh, pushes kids, you know, past nouns into, adjectives. This one now we get to go color, bani rangi, size, feelings, hisia, which, they're very big vocabularies to jump into. So, for example, um, you know, Picha ya siku, photo of the day. A journal where kids captures a photo. Paka mweusi mdogo. Paka mweusi mdogo. You see, they have described these particular cats. Remember, they have picture of the day, and that picture of the day is, a photo which is written paka mweusi mdogo. They have described that cat, that huyu ni paka na paka mwenyewe ni mweusi. Aha. Na vile vile paka huyu mweusi ni mdogo. So we have said that photography and journaling, they actually build what you call, the descriptive vocabularies. You see, this is where now they're going to introduce adjectives such as, color, sizes, as well as the feelings that they have. So parents, the next time your kids take photo, ask them to describe it in one Swahili sentence. You know, simple, just have to use simple words and let's see, are they doing well in that or what is really happening with that? Okay. So as we end up this live stream, I don't know, have you enjoyed this stream just like I did? Because I think that there are so many things that we can actually discuss in there and that can make our children to start loving this particular language. So we have learned today language and co-curricular activity and not, are not two separate things. No, they are not. They're not two separate things on your children. Football practice, the singing, the drawing, the board games, the board games at night, that is a language lesson. It is, it just doesn't feel like homework. It's just something they love doing. And if they play those games or those activities in something that they actually love doing, trust me, they are going to enjoy every bit of it. Okay. So, parents, if today's lesson showed you how much your child can absorb through play, book, a free Swahili trial session with us at Tayari.live. And this week, let's build this into what you call a daily habit, and your child is not going to be shy or going to hold back on speaking because it is going to build confidence in them. Let's try this together and let's see what is going to happen. Are they going to improve in their first week or how is it going to be? Asanteni sana kwa kushiriki nami. Asanteni sana for being here. See you in my next stream. Kwa heri.
Hey, hey, hey. Tucheze sasa. Hey, hey, hey.